The new UiPath Autopilot is fantastic. With our natural words, we can get help in building agents, RPA workflows, and we can connect everything and still use the autopilot. Let me show you. By the way, I've created UiPath videos as a hobby over the past few years. And guess what? UiPath finally contacted me and asked to collaborate. UiPath therefore sponsors this video. So a really big day for me. My name is Jensen. Let's learn some UiPath. Let's build an AI agent that can extract information from ingoing orders to our company. To do so, you go to cloud.uipath.com. Either hit agents here or up on the 9 dots, go to more and hit agents here. I've created a complete setup guide for setting up UiPath that is up here in the right corner. Go visit that if this is your first time. Otherwise, let's build together. Here you want to say build your agent now, and now instead of configuring this agent manually, we can just prompt autopilot on what we want. Let's say we want to build an agent that can analyze free text from an order and extract. So we have an incoming order and we want to extract customer name, product, quantity, and desired delivery method. So one data point coming in an order, and then we have 4 data points going out. Let's hit generate agent. You will see that the autopilot starts to work, all just from one sentence of text. Now it will generate suggestions, because as you can see over in the configuration, we have a system prompt. Right now it's the default, you are an agentic assistant. We also have a user prompt, what is the current date? Here we would have to do this manually if we work in almost every other tool, but here in UiPath we have this awesome autopilot that can create those for us. Here we can see that it has worked. It had a few suggestions for us. For example, the system prompt. Click the review suggestions. Now you can see that it has deleted you are an agentic assistant, and it created a new prompt for us. Here we can either hit accept suggestions over in the autopilot or just accept here. That was easy. Let's do the same with the user prompt. So hit review suggestions. This looks good. Analyze the following order text and extract the required information. Look here, it says order text. These 2 curly brackets in the start and in the end when building an AI agent here in UiPath, this is an argument. That was the value that should come in to this AI agent. Let's try to hit accept here. You will see it's red, and that is because there's no argument created yet. But autopilot will help us with that too. If you click review suggestions, then over to the left and in the upper left corner, you can see we have an input that will be the order text. We have 4 outputs: customer name, product, quantity, and delivery method. Those looks good. If I hit accept suggestions, you will also see that order text is now green. We can also evaluate, is this a good AI agent? Does it have all the information that it needs? So up in the upper right corner, open health score. Then a health score is getting calculated. That one will go from 0 to 100. We will have 4 main areas: the prompt, tools, input schema, and evaluations. We can see right now it has a value of 48. Could be better, but again, remember this is a demo, so we will not spend too much time on this. But we want to improve this. As you can see, it's 0 here in evaluations. And if I click it, I can use autopilot again to see suggestions. Evaluations, that is, we give it an sample order, and we tell it what to extract from that sample order. Then it will have much easier to work, and in the real world we will probably recommend to have 30 different orders of different example types. It helps us here. You can see here example, order text, and then we also have the expected output. Let's go put that in, and here I recommend opening up a notepad, preferably 2 different screens, and we can see here we have a few examples. Let us paste it into this, because we want to create evaluations. That is, we want to make sure that these guys here, that our agent will know of these. So that is good. And then I want to copy the first order text here. So mark it, Control C, go down to evaluations, click default evaluation set, and hit add plus add evaluation to set. Then we can, in order text, say Control V, paste it in. We can also give it a name. Let's just call it order 1. Then we will tell UiPath what is the customer name, what is the product, what is the quantity, and delivery method. So here the customer name, that is John Doe. That's why I added here. We had the red t-shirts. We have 2. And we also have a delivery method. Then you hit save. Here you will see that the evaluation is added successfully. I recommend that again you add up to 30. You can just ask Autopilot for more examples, make them diverse. But since this is a demo, let's just do it by once, and let's go up and open the health score again. Let us recalculate. Now you will see that we get a score here, although not 100, but that will improve our health score up here. And in that way, we have improved this AI agent with the Autopilot. This looks good. Now we want to publish this agent. So here we want to give it a name and then publish it so we can use it other places than just here in the debugger. First, go to Project Explorer over here. Here we will right-click the agent and hit rename. So this one will be order information agent. You can also rename the solution up here. So this will be order information solution. Then what you want to do is to hit publish here. You can see the name is the order information solution. The location is our local workspace. Hit publish. Then you will see that the solution publish is started. You will be notified once it's complete. What we're waiting for here is a green menu saying it is published successfully. Let's fast forward. That's it. If we want to inspect it, we can now close this agent. Then we can go to cloud.uipath.com if you're not already here. Go up to the 9 dots and hit Orchestrator. This is where we will orchestrate our AI agents. And if you go down here to My Workspace, then you will see that we have the order information agent solution, and then in the automation, you will see that we now have an order information agent. All good. So we built an AI agent that could read an order and extract 4 different items. One of them were customer name. Let's build a traditional RPA process also with the help of Autopilot. Let me minimize the browser. So we want to check if this customer name exists in our system. Today, our system is a little bit simplified because of the video length. So this will be Excel, that will be our system, but in the real world, this would be a CRM system or any other system, because UiPath can do all your work. So double click this Excel book. You can download it from below so you can work with me. Here we have a column called customer with different customers in. So we want to check, is the customer here? If not, we want to add it to the list. Let's close the Excel. Let's right click this file and say copy as path. Now we have the path in our clipboard. Then we open up UiPath Studio. Again, take the beginner's guide, there's also a link to that below. If you want to set all this up, now we can just go to process. Then we can give it a name. Let's call this create customer. So what I want to do here would be to make the check. We can do that manually. Then we can find all the activities over here to the left and drag them in. That will be the old school method. I did that a lot. It took some time. Now we can just generate our actions with Autopilot, either by clicking here or in the lower right corner to find the Autopilot. I just click here and then I can describe the task. I will say read the contents of the Excel file, Control V to paste in the path and load it into a data table. We often want to work with data tables when we work with Excel data in UiPath. That is because it's much faster and more reliable than working in the user interface of an Excel sheet. Find out if the column customer contains the value. Let's have a placeholder here, next gen enterprise. This is because currently Autopilot cannot create the arguments for us. So we will create a placeholder and then we will replace it in 10 seconds or a little bit more. Save the result in a true false variable. So if the customer exists, then this value should be true, otherwise false. Hit generate. Now you will see that it comes up with a suggestion for us of the activities. If we're happy with those, we can approve it, and then it will also install the correct dependencies. Let me hit confirm here. It will install these 4 packages. Looks good. I will just hit accept. Then it will take 10 seconds and then it has generated our flow. Please, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. That will really help me and my channel a lot. Thank you. So let's see what it had done here. First, it reads the Excel file. It has the path, and then you will see that it reads the sheet 1. If your sheet is named something other, then just replace this value. Go down to properties here while still having clicked this. You can also see that it generates a variable called customers data table. And it says that our data has headers. So we can change this after Autopilot has created it for you. Then it will say, does the customer column in the data table, does that contain the value next gen enterprise? So the column name is here. Where does it look? It look in the customer data table. What does it look for? It does look up for the next gen enterprise. You can also see here that here we have an output variable that will be the row index. If no value is found, by the way, then this value will be -1. Then it goes down here and then it says that we will have a is customer found variable, and that one will either be true or false. It will be true if the value is greater than or equal to 0, otherwise false. Let's do a quick fix because we want to have this lookup value dynamic. go down to arguments here. What you want to do is to say customer name. Let's first also give it a default value. Let's call this next gen enterprise. Then what you want to do is to click the arguments once more, go up here, delete the lookup value, say control space, and now you can use the customer name instead. And let's again inspect this Excel book, because we have no next gen enterprise, so it should return a false value. Let's also, because we want to test it, let me control C this blue sky retail group so we can check that, because that should return a true value. We go to UiPath Studio. Let's also write this out so we can test this. We can do that with a write line manually. Again, we could have used the autopilot. Control space. Let's have this is customer found. This is a Boolean value. So what you want to do is to add a dot, and then you want to say to string. Now let's go test it, and this would be tested with the next gen enterprise value, and that should return a false value. Let's go up and hit debug. Then we can also check that these activities work. So that's it. And if you want to inspect the result, you go to output, and here you can see that the value was indeed false. Let's try to change this. So I say Control V. Did I have a space too much? Now it should, instead of returning a false, it should return a true. Let us click debug. So again, it will run. And now in the output, you will see that the value is true. This is amazing. Autopilot built this for us. Then you can click the output, arguments. Let's delete this write line, because we also want, so if the customer doesn't exist, then we want to create it in our system. Let's extend it. So what you want to do is to make sure that you are down here. Here you can go to autopilot and start it from here. Now you can see that we can say if there is customer found. If it has named your variable here, anything else, simply just change it. If the customer found variable is false, then we know that the customer doesn't exist. Create a data table with one column and add company name in the first row. So here I just say what I want to build as a developer. Then append the data table to the Excel sheet. And then we hit generate just as before. So now you will see that it will create the activities once more. So here we have an if. Let's hit confirm and let's go through what it does here. First, it has a condition. So here it will have the not in front. So this means that if this is not true, that means that this is false, the customer is not found, then it will perform the activities in the end, and then it will continue here. We'll have no more actions, otherwise it will go into else, where we will have no activities in. Here it will build a quick data table. Let us go to properties. It will be called new customer data table. Click into the data table here, because for some reason you can see that it will insert two placeholder values, or at least one. Delete that and hit OK. Then it will add company name to the first row of the new data table, and then it will append the data table to our Excel sheet. So right now we want to check that does this work. So if I go down to my arguments, so here it should not add this, but let's again try to add the next gen enterprise. Then I want to hit debug. So right now the check will be done in our system. So once this is over with no errors, then we can go to our system here. And then you can see we have the next gen enterprise. We can also test, sorry, let's open it again. We can also test it with, for example, the silver oak. Then it should not create the customer. Let us do this here and let's hit debug. So here it should not create the silver oak. Let's just try one more so we can see that everything works and it does not do anything unexpected. Let's say Anders Jensen org. It should create that. So if I go to my system here, the customers, then you will see it has not created the silver oak, but it has created the Anders Jensen org just as expected. So let's finish this by publishing. This is how easy it was with the autopilot. Let's hit publish to publish it to Orchestrator. This one will be called create customer. Go hit publish. It will compile and then you will get a success message. Click OK. Now you can close this. By the way, maybe we should publish it without the default value. We will make a second version. I hope you like these live builds because then you get my thought process. Now we just have published it without a default value. Now let's go close this. So what I now want is to again open my browser. Then I want to refresh the browser and go up into my workspace. Now you will see that you have a create customer, and if you did it like me, you will have the version 1.0.2. That's how easy it is to build with Autopilot. Now let's configure and orchestrate everything in the UiPath Maestro. So here you go to the 9 dots in the cloud.uipath.com, and then you hit the Maestro. Pick Start Modeling. Luckily here we can again describe with Autopilot. You will find that to the right, either because it's open like here, or let me hit close. If you click Open Autopilot, here we can create a diagram on how we want to connect our stuff. That could be our AI agent and our RPA process. Let me describe it instead. I will say create a Maestro flow with, and by the way, I created a complete UiPath Maestro guide. You will find that up here in the upper right corner. Create a Maestro flow with 1, an agent for data extraction, 2, a decision that checks if the extracted customer name is empty, 3, if the customer name is not empty, and RPA service task to create the customer in our system. So again, with natural words, we describe the task. Let me fast forward over this generation. That's it. Now it will describe what it's creating. Here you can see the diagram. Let me hit accept. Here we have the start and in the end. Let's talk a little bit about how we can configure this. Because first here in the start event, we want to click it. And here we want to feed it with the value order text. Again, it could come from a system, but for simplicity, we will just have this today. So add a new argument. Let us call this one order text and hit save. So that one comes in. Hit the extract customer data. Here we can see Autopilot has given it the name. We just choose the action. Click here, That will be start and wait for agent. Here in agent, you will click and then you will pick your order information agent. Then you will also see that this agent needs a value of order text. That makes sense. We created that when we created the agent with the AI agent with Autopilot. This order text will be the order text that we have added here in the start event. So click in here. You can either use the suggestion from Autopilot or go down to start event where you will find the orders text. Click that. And that is good. This one is a condition. So here it will ask, is the customer name empty? If not, then it will create the customer in the system. If yes, then it will end the process. It will not create any customer. We will look at this condition in 20 seconds. Let's first go into the create customer in system. So what happens here? Let us go to the action. Here it will start and wait for RPA workflow. Click down here, and again you want to pick your process. This time is create customer. Here you can see that it needs a customer name. It gets that from the extract customer data. So click here. I can actually see we can find it here, or simply just go down and find it under extract customer data. Customer name is extracted here. Then look at the condition. So if the customer name is empty, then it will go over here, otherwise no. Here we have two different paths. So to no, we will put a condition over here. And in the yes branch, we will have a condition here, so we'll have an expression editor. Usually you will have to write C# here, but luckily Autopilot saves our day as well. Here, check if the variable, I don't even have to spell the customer name variable correct. I can just say something like customer name variable is empty. So if this is true, we want to say follow the yes branch. This looks good. It checks the variable customer name. Is that null or empty? I want to accept it by clicking this one up here. We can test it. Right now, we can add a value. This could be an Jensen org. So this one is not null or empty. This should be false. That's good. Try to delete it and hit test again. Now it will be true. This works. I can hit save. So we have the yes branch covered. We will have the no as the default one. So now we can go test it. And again, what we want to see here, we feed it with an order. This one extract the correct elements. It find out, can we find a customer name? So if it's empty, it will go here. If it's not, it will create the customer in our system, which were our Excel book. So let's go start it. I will click debug up here. We will give it an order. Let's say Mike Johnson needs 5 boxes of printer paper. And by the way, he also needs to click like on this video. Thank you, Mike. Delivered to his office by tomorrow. Of course, in the real world, these could be longer. Let's hit save and debug. Now the Maestro flow will start. First, it will extract the values from the order. You can see the order here. So here you will see that the customer name, that will be Mike Johnson. So here you can see it actually extracted the stuff. Now it goes up in the no branch and it will end here in 2 seconds. Then we can check if it has created this in our system. Let me close this. Then we have the Mike Johnson. That's how easy it is to automate with Autopilot in UiPath. Now let's learn everything about another key element in UiPath, that is the screenplay. Here you can just describe what you want your RPA workflow to do, and then screenplay actually performs the action. See you in the video.